In this video, I will show you exactly how you can build and maintain your own course platform, removing any need to have external course platforms such as Kajabi, Teachable, or other types of platforms that you might be paying for currently. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is the way that you can actually experience an example of how exactly this is going to feel like for yourselves. It is going to be in the 4 languages and courses. If you don't have your own login yet, you can do that and create one for free, which allows you to get into the course so you can see what's in here, how it works. You can even get access to the videos and some of the free courses that we have in order to get an experience of how your own owned course platform can feel like. The difference between having your own course platform and renting it out from a SaaS platform is that while this is the way that my platform looks, yours can look completely different. So from branding, colors, options in the nav, whatever you might have, these can all be changed. So you will get access to the template to create this, but you will also get access to changing absolutely everything you see here. Anything and everything that you see is going to be in the template. You will have all the back-end stuff, so like changing password, all of the boring steps that you might not think about yourself, and probably that are the reason that you've been using a course platform so far. But in the template that you're going to get, you're going to be able to build all of this from scratch for your own course. But what we're going to do today is I will show you examples of just how easy it is to take your existing knowledge and turn it into a course platform. So the 2 things that we're going to have is we're going to need content. So anything and everything that you have about your content of your course, anything that you're planning to teach, and how you can turn that into a course of your choosing. So I'm going to show you how you can take the course template and give your content and put them together and in order to create your own course. So let's get started. For those of you who have DIY already, you will know that the template for creating your course lives in module 6. For those who haven't seen the DIY yet, we have 3 parts. Each one of them has their own zip file with the templates related to that specific module. And all of them will build on the previous one. So now that we're going directly to module 6, the assumption is that you will have created some of the things and elements that are required in order to create your course platform in the previous steps. However, you will also be able to use the zip directly, and it will just not be able to use your branding and any of the materials that you might have created beforehand. So let's do this. So now that we have our intake form ready to go, I will actually just say yes. Let's start the intake, but let's build the one we've already planned for Maya. So this is going to be something that we have already created, a handover doc, which I actually only created based on the Notion dashboard of a course that she runs already. So using the MCP, so the connection, direct connection to Notion, I have extracted most of the elements from the course that Maya runs in order to create a kind of like to-do list for Claude to turn all of that data into a course, right? So what it is doing now, it is actually trying to find the relevant files, which are going to be in a different folder, not in the one that we're in. So it will be finding it and giving me the exact specs, branding, and content so we can get started. So let's look at what Maya's system is shaping up to be. So in this case, we have 2 options essentially, or we can use a hybrid version, same shape. It is more of a library as it is in the Notion. And because of our template is more of a course module-based system, so it has guidance when it comes through all of these different steps. What Claude is essentially asking us is if we want to use the original library shape that doesn't have steps, or if we want to use a course shape, which is going to be using the modules and the content that we have in Maya's course, but frame it as a course where you go step by step, or if we want to create a hybrid version. I would like to go with hybrid just to see what it does. And let's see what we have. We have some issues in the Notion. We will just fix them as we go. What I am going to do now is I will actually go and find Maya's website. So what I will do is I will remind Claude to please use Maya's website that we built as the foundation for brand, fonts, etc. when creating the course platform. So what Claude will do is it will fetch any relevant information that we have from that website for it to create the course that we're building in the right brand and format. When you are building this on your own system and you already have your website in your system, it will already have all of this information. Now you can see that Claude is matching essentially the brand that is Maya Morton's brand, as well as the template. So the template obviously needs to have template colors and fonts, etc., which will all be replaced by your own branding, right? But in order for it to have a visual example that you can see and check, it needs to have those in the existing template. But anything and everything that you create for yourself using your own brand will have your branding. I will show you actually what the Notion example is that we are building off of. So this is a Notion dashboard with pages that all have their own content. There's different types of content. There's an index, there are videos, there's text. There are all kinds of different things in this already existing dashboard. And what we're doing now is we are transforming or translating this Notion dashboard into a course that will match her website and her brand. And it will actually live on the same website, mayamorton.com. And it will have the same kind of like login button and access to her own course in her own brand after. And if you want to see how that might look like, we can use this one as an example, which is built obviously with the template. So what we will get in the end is this course platform, but with Maya's own course modules, own parts, own lessons, and own branding instead of the template one that we have to build with. Okay, so we can already see that Claude is starting the build. So it is building the existing pages that I found on the Notion. And as you can see, we have the same left-sided nav, but in Maya's brand. And also because of the choice that we made earlier on, we decided to create a kind of hybrid. So we have the library idea as well as a starting point for this setup. So now that it's building the course platform, it's showing what it's doing at the same time. Because now what we're doing is we're essentially just translating a Notion dashboard into a course format. But of course, for the course platform to be functional, there needs to be a sign-in and there needs to be a payment wall or no payment wall. And all of those things are in the template and ready for you to use and make sure that your course is exactly the way that you want it to be. So when we refresh, we can already see that it's removed all the color slivers that I asked it to remove. And all the cards are monocolor and without any kind of border styles in this course. So that's just an example to show you exactly how you can kind of edit and adjust the course visuals as well as obviously the content to your liking by just chatting with Claude. And this is actually really similar to the Notion. If you remember, we were here and we had these cards for the different elements and different places. What we are missing, because we did a text-only scrape from Notion and I didn't download all the pictures, is actually the pictures. So we don't have the pictures for all of these cards, which we would have to scrape separately from Notion just to make sure that they are here. But that is also possible, of course. But any and all of the content that we have in all of these are already here. So as you can see, the audio, journal, prompts, masterclasses, they are already here. So you can see them. This is the corresponding version. And however you might want to have them in this course format is obviously going to be different. So let's imagine that here we have a journal prompt that is a text-based thing. In here we could have an AI conversation, for example. So you could actually have an AI conversation in this page where you will either talk to the course AI or type in your answers, and it can save them in there as well. So when you come back, you will be able to see them. So anything and everything that you can do with Notion, you can also create here. To show you another type of example, I will actually create a new project, and I will start from the same pack, and I will ask Claude to transform and translate Sophie's course into a branded course platform. So what I will tell my Claude is I want to translate Sophie's course content into a course platform format. I will give you the documents with the necessary information here. So what I will do is, this is actually Sophie's website, and again, this has been created with Claude, and therefore we have been able to do a kind of like handover document. So I will just give this handover, which is just a scraped document of what is in this website. I will give it to Claude, and what I will do also is I will actually give Claude access to seeing this whole page. I want you to grab and analyze, use the materials in their original language. No need to translate. So as we can see, this is in German. So we don't want to have Claude spend tokens and energy on translating. Cool. So this is an existing course with slide decks that are already in existence. I think quite often when we talk about AI and how you can use AI to create things, we think about AI creating things from scratch. But what we are doing is we are taking existing knowledge. So these are original decks, original notions of these coaches, of their own work, of their own programs and materials that they have created themselves. And what we're doing with AI is we're taking it from a PDF or a Canva or a Notion board and essentially just translating it into an original course platform. So we're translating formats. We're not generalizing this information. We're not making this AI slop. We are taking this original information and translating it into a platform that can be used and shared with your clients in a way that looks like Kajabi, looks like Thinkific or other course platforms, but it's actually owned by you. And you will have access to editing it exactly the way that you want. So this is what we created with the Notion board that we had from Maya. And as you can see, all of this is already functional. So these are steps. When you mark it done, it's halfway done. All of this logic that you need to build into courses is already in the templates. So none of these backend things you need to really worry about. They are already there. The only thing that you will need to worry about is creating your page, like creating your content, creating your original value that you want to share, not the actual logic of the course platform. What we are going to do next is I will actually show you how we can do something for the built for you format instead of the DIY exclusively. I will actually have access to your system and I will be able to build your course or your whatever website, all of the backend stuff for you. So as you can see, Claude found the repo. It's going to be pulling the latest version, because obviously Maren is working on her system in her own computer. So I'm just pulling all the latest changes so that all of those will be included in whatever it is that we're building here. One thing to note here is that, as you can see what Claude is saying, so it has everything, but it's actually building the platform in Maren's repo, so in her system, not in mine. The other two, I'm actually building in my own system. I could also be working with Sophie's because I have access to her own course setup and her repo, but I wanted to show you the kind of like neutral way that it would be for you starting from scratch. So these two are working within a fresh environment, working without an existing root system. Whereas with Maren's, this is actually working within her existing root system already. And for you to kind of understand and see how that can work, I can show you the live 4 languages one. So this is using the same template that you have access to and that we're building all these 3 courses with. As you can see, there's different ways that you can access content. In mine, for example, the downloads are a very key part. That's how you get your zips and your infrastructure. But maybe in yours, you don't need to have downloadables. Maybe you can have a PDF to download or whatever you want. All of the modules and the pages can look like whatever you want them to look like. All the branding, anything and everything that you want to have is going to be personalized to your actual system. And for example, in here, in mine, anything and everything that you see here is going to be free to access. So it's tiered for everyone and anyone to access. You can access this by just creating a free login. Whereas if you don't have a bought DIY plan, you will not be able to actually access the content of these modules right here. So what you will hit instead is a page that says, hey, please purchase the DIY in order to access this data. And obviously you can manage your membership or DIY here in the setup. And all of these types of pages, sign-ins, change your password, all of these kinds of things are already in the template so that you don't need to build them from scratch. So we are starting to see what we have for Maren's Vision to Victory. And again, this is very different because as you can see, all of these ladies, they have different brands, they have different logics. Every single one of these courses looks different. You can obviously also change the navigation to be on the right or on the top or wherever you want to. There's not really any reason that you need to stick to any of the kind of UI or UX in the templates. But these are kind of like best practices and probably something that you've seen in other course platforms as well. And here is Maren's system, and as you can see, there are questions, there's like step-by-step journaling prompts and stuff. These are all active, so you can write here, they will be saved. I know that in Maren's system she has already obviously connected everything to the database, so when you actually type things in and save them, they will be saved. You can only access them with your own logins. So all of the backend is already in there, and there's also a download workbook option in here, which is a downloadable file. So this is not connected yet, and this is actually a really good reminder here because everything that you're building, it's also only hosted locally right now, so it has not been deployed. This is not online, no one else can see this. And also it is not connected to a Supabase account yet, so there's no logins that you have available for this course yet. And obviously until you're at the space where you want to share it, this is the best place to be because you're only doing local changes. And until you feel comfortable and confident enough to kind of publish it, then you can do that. And as you can see now here with Maren's course, it's actually testing mobile. Again, this is one part of the template, is that it already has mobile and desktop, and it has certain like best practices, so that again, you don't need to think about that. It already knows to remember to create mobile first as well as desktop versions. And it will fix through everything and anything that it encounters when it's testing the setup. So we're building within the Zen and Go colors. I know that these are the colors that they have. We have the part name, we have the dashboard. So this is the modules that we're starting to build. These are still in English, again, because we are just starting with the import of the contents that we had. We have the homepage, so this will obviously be replaced and connected with the actual homepage of Zen and Go. And these are the options that I created based on the slides that we gave it. And there are quite a few modules, 8 modules, I think that's correct. It is 8 modules. Everything is based on the actual slides that we had. So the names, the content, all of this is from these slides. You can actually ask Claude to take screenshots, or in this case, grab any visuals from the slides that we have in Canva and import them into their respective modules and lessons in the course. So actually maybe we can try. Can you please, let me find the, let's see where we have a visual. Let's do this. I want to get the page 7 image on the, can you please make sure you include the page 7 visual as is in a pop-up on the dashboard to see and show the whole journey. So I'm asking it to get an image. We could do the same with a website image. It could go and screenshot something. In this case, I assume it will actually save the image because it has access to the Canva, or it will screenshot it, whichever works best. It's getting an export, so it's higher quality. But yeah, you can ask it to grab images, to grab files, to grab links, anything you want. It will add them into whatever it is that you're building. So let's open it here so we can see it as full page. And what I will do is I will also check Marens, which we are building here. We're just finalizing what we have, and let's see it here as well to see what we have. There's a video coming, so these are all based on the plan that she has and also her branding. I can show you Maren's website as well, so you can see that it's in her colors, it's in her brand. A free guide. She also has some events and stuff on her website, so we're creating everything in her original brand. So let's see if we manage to get the image imported into our course here. Yeah, so now we are including the image here. Let me see, I'll just go here and I asked for it to be a pop-up, so we have it here. So that's exactly how it works. We had that in here on the PDF or on the Canva, and now it lives here on the page that I asked it to be added on. Everything that we're doing here is going to be here, clickable, actually going through it. You can add any images, any kind of logic that you want. One thing I didn't show is you can also include AI elements. So you can include AI scans or quizzes, etc. on here as well, or videos. This is how you see the journey of like when you're using the DIY template to build your own system, so your own website, your own course. You will have all of the steps and everything you need to build in the course platform in both guided videos as well as text, so you can understand a bit more about the logic behind everything that you're building. And in here you also have an AI touch point that you can go and do. So this is an AI quiz that will be able to create your first root file. And this is obviously something that you can create as well. You can actually use voice here. So this is an API using a voice AI that will help you speak to your course and turn it into an exportable file that you can give to your Claude Code system. I think this is a great place to stop because we will otherwise spend our full day here. So what we built today is I showed you how the course platform looks like. This is the template. Everything and anything you see here, you will be able to download for yourself. the examples that we showed were turning this Notion page into a branded course platform, including all of it, videos, links, audio, whatever it is that you might want to have. Then we had Sophie's Zen and Go version, which is a Canva originally. So it's a Canva slide deck with almost 400 slides. We gave it to Claude with her existing system and branding, and we are now in the process of creating a functional course based off that. And then we did Maren's version, which was using the shared GitHub repo, so I can build in her existing system. And what we have from Maren is also based on her brand, on her teaching, on her modules, and her actual root system planning to create the first version of her course platform. So everything you see here, we did in less than an hour, 3 different course platforms. And the reason that we are able to do that is because the template knows what to build, and you can build it with all kinds of origin documents, whether it's Canva, Notion, or text files, like in the case of Mare. You do not need to buy Kajabi or Teachable or any other course platform. You can build your own course, host it in your website exactly the way that I do mine, and just build everything with Claude. It will live on your website. It will have all the same logic. It will have the logins, payment links, drop-ins, whatever you want to create. If you want to create like an upsell for one-to-one sessions, you can have that there. Anything that you can think of, you can include in your course platform. Videos, AI quizzes, there's no limit to what you can create. So just let me know if you have any questions. These are just a few examples of how you can use the root system to build your own. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.